That was a gun.
Not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name's Graham Wilson. I do electronics.
Hi, I'm Marco. I was born and bred in Brackenfell, right here, and I'm a live sound engineer.
I'm Chris, I'm from Belleville, I'm unemployed at the moment.
Okay, I'm Chris too. I'm also from Brackenfell. I study teaching, and I'll be a teacher next year. So
I think we're all sort of a little bit too old to remember apartheid, but we're a little bit too young to be excluded from it also. So I don't know. There's a lot of talk of apartheid, but I don't know much about it. You know, I'm not interested in it also because I don't have those views and opinions. You know,
because most of our parents came from an Afrikaner background, they were privileged, and it actually formed us in a way because we had discourse with them and we talked to them, and they basically raised us. So a lot of the stuff they were thinking comes down to us. So although we don't think we were influenced and we think we're new age, we actually come from there's some stuff that still sticks, and we're still young Afrikaners in some ways.
We're all living off their money that they made in the apartheid years, because I mean, when they were young, they didn't even have to finish school and they would get a government job at Spoornet or wherever. And somehow they got into these great positions, but and then when apartheid finished, that's where it ended. They just stayed there, and now we're all basically living off what they made, and now we all need to come into our own. But it's a struggle because we're also confused. We don't know what to do. We can't get into government anymore. We need to find our own way. We need to. That's exactly why young South Africans need to go study and find out exactly what it is they want to do and just pursue that.
Yeah, no matter, it doesn't matter what your skin color is.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually wonder if the reason why we're so confused is because when we were like 10, 11, 12, 13, kind of growing, our parents had to find their own feet in the new South Africa, and maybe they didn't have enough time to kind of give us direction because they had to find their own direction. I don't know. This might be like whatever, but yeah, maybe.
Don't you think these times are more diverse? I mean, I think our parents were told to go study this, become a doctor, or go into the, go to the army, and you'd have a job and you'd have a career. But I think these days it's important, and people find that they need to have a passion for what they're doing. Which is pretty cool because now everybody's sort of studying what they want to do. I know the time when I had to decide what I want to do for a career, I had this thing in the back of my head that, I'm white and I'm probably going to struggle to get a job. So I went into engineering because I knew there was going to be work there, but not everybody thinks that way, And I think the further we move from those years, the more people are also going to move towards, doing stuff that they love doing instead of being worried about can they make a living from it.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm a sound engineer, which is a very difficult industry to get into. There's not a lot of work. The money is shit. The hours are long. But I love music. I love sound, so I do it in any case. I don't care about making 30 grand a month, just to buy myself a fancy car or whatever. I just want to do what I love and get by. But at the end of the day, if you want to have a family, you want to have a successful career, you want to retire at the age of 60 or 55 or whatever, I mean it's not feasible doing that. It's not the reality that you actually want to get into.
Do you think everybody our age actually thinks I'm gonna study something because I love it? Or is the majority actually going after the money? Because if I look at Stellenbosch where I studied, there's a lot of BCom students that drop out because they thought, okay, I'm going to study BCom because there's money there, and then they go do something else because, So are we really driven by our passions, or are we driven by money? Most, if you look at the general public out there.
I think another problem with the new South Africa is a lot of people feel like the country owes them something. Like, you know, like the people that were disadvantaged in the apartheid years feel like the country owes us something because we were disadvantaged back then. And then the new white people think the country owes us something because we've been disadvantaged now. Everyone is just expecting things to happen, you know, you're just expecting things to come towards you instead of working hard to get those things. And that's a big issue in this country. People need to start learning to work for what they want. And I mean, if you really truly do something that you love and you work hard at it, at the end of the day it won't feel like working. It will just be like you're doing what you love and you're getting the money that you deserve for it.
I think affirmative action lowers the standard of a country's workforce because you're not necessarily employing the best person for the job. You're just trying to fill your quota of, or you're trying to be representative of the population of the country. But you know, I really don't agree with it. I mean, everybody needs to deserve what they get and not just be handed freebies, you know.
But in a way, the people that were disadvantaged, they do deserve it because they were disadvantaged. But on the other hand, it creates a lot of bitterness, like a lot of bitterness between all of us. And if I studied 4 years, you know, I'm a genius at what I do. But a guy that didn't study necessarily gets the job that I deserve, you're going to be bitter towards him. You're not going to like him. Even though in any other situation you might be best friends, but you're going to be bitter towards that guy because he got the job that you deserve. So it's kind of creating a situation where people, you know, are hating each other, where racism just explodes. They want to kill racism in this country, but they're just promoting it at the end of the day.
You can't take away the fact that something was unfair by introducing something that's unfair. On the point of racism, I work with a lot of different people at ground level, and I didn't see all the racism that everybody's talking about, the politicians are talking about. You know, I get along well with everybody, and they say they're the same with me. You know, I don't get what all the fuss is about because I don't see it actually in the street. You know, I can walk up to any person, whoever they are, and have a conversation with them, and you know, I don't necessarily feel that hate everybody's talking about.
I think the thing is, because you're working at the same place, you've got the same interests, you have to work as a team. But if I can take a school, for example, most schools still today, you'll find if there's black, colored, white learners, you'll find the groups still there for some reason, and almost 20 years after apartheid, but it's still...
That stems from your parents.
Yeah, I guess so.
From your parents.
So, yeah, so there's still that little...
But when you're thrown into like a university or college where you kind of have to, where a person starts thinking freely for himself, or in a work situation like you kind of see, okay, but it's not that bad, you know, it's, you know, I get along fine with this guy or that guy or whatever, and it's not, you know, there's no, you know, hatefulness towards him or anything like that. So it's kind of still, all of us are still living in our, you know, our parents', you know, footsteps, but give it 20, 30 years, imagine what the next generation will be like. Will there be groups? Because it's already starting to get smaller, it's already starting to disappear. I mean, what will our kids have? Will there still be groups? That's what I want to know.
I can only see it getting better.
Everyone thinks that the country owes them something, and that's how this whole corruption thing is just exploding in this country. It's because everyone feels like, I deserve this, so I can just take money here, I can just commit fraud, and you know, you can't say anything because I deserve this actually. I mean, if I should probably not say this, but I mean, if I had the opportunity to not pay tax and get away with it, I would do it. I mean, wouldn't you guys do it? I would do it, because, I mean, what do you see on the news every single day? Like, this politician took this money here, this politician took that money there. That's your tax money that he's just taking for himself. So how does it make you feel? Do you really want to pay tax then? If you look at the roads, Western Cape's roads is still alright, but I mean, the other provinces, look at the roads, it looks like shit, you know? Do you see your tax money going into that? No, you don't. It goes into their pockets.
So I guess what you're saying is, our situation creates the idea that we have to only care about ourselves and not about the country, because the country doesn't really care about me, so I don't really have to care about it.
Exactly. We're in the United States, okay, not everyone, but all of them are like patriots, you know, they've got flags on their houses and everyone is proud. I mean, with us it was like during the Soccer World Cup, I mean, we had flags on our mirrors of our cars, but that was like for a month, and now it's back to square one again.
That's true.
It did create a bit of a positive situation, but still, like in other countries, they kind of create this perception that you need to be a patriot and you need to be positive with your country. But the leaders they have in those countries are people that you can look up to. They represent, you know, a good situation, a positive vibe for the country. I mean, yeah, every day you see corruption, you see Julius Malema's face on the news saying some stupid comment. So that's not people you can look up to. It starts with the leaders of the country. That's where it actually starts.
That's our ANC youth leader.
Yeah,
and
he's a leader.
Some people aren't as open-minded as other people, and they look up to this guy and they take him as an example for how they should be, you know. So.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm a young entrepreneur, and yes, I'm here with my friends.
Cool, okay. Sorry.
What do you think of affirmative action, Justin?
Affirmative action, I think it's not working correctly right now. It's definitely needed. And yeah, I think it's our government probably is taking the wrong approach to it. Like, if you look at sports, for instance, if you look at the quota system, and our new minister, I think today said, our new sports minister actually said that it's not working correctly and he maybe want to stop the quota system in our country.
Because they're just looking at rugby and cricket. That he said, I saw it on the news, he said it was reduced to just racism, the transformation in sport, and people are just looking at rugby and cricket. But what about all the other sports we have in this country? They're looking at rugby and cricket, which is a major white sport.
And the quota system in netball is actually ridiculous, because they take a team that comes from Soweto, a township, mostly black, and then suddenly they expect white people to be in that team because the quota system says there should be diverse races in the team. I mean, if the community comes from a mostly black community, how do you expect to then allow the other team that's mostly white to be white? Why should you organize a team in a certain way, of certain races?
Basically, my dad had the opportunity to go, and he didn't have to finish school. He could have gotten a position at Spoornet, and basically said no, he wants to go study. Back then, that was like, want to go study? Why? You walk into this job. This is your salary. This is your career for life. And he said no, he wants to go study. He has his own business at the moment, and I mean, he works with a lot of different cultures, and to him it's just he loves all people. What he does not like though is the government, the politicians in this country. That is what he dislikes. But the people, like you said, on ground level, the middle class or the working class people, I mean, that's the people that he really gets along with, and that's really we all get along. It's like the rich and the very poor are the people that are really always like clashing.
Like my dad, I think he feels like I'll do whatever feels good at the moment, because in Apartheid he not supported, but he went along with it, almost like English liberals. They kind of were against Apartheid, but it worked for them in a way, so they didn't really protest. But anyway, that aside, my dad was kind of that way, so it worked for him. But now he just goes along. He doesn't care really about, I guess, the apathy or whatever it is. It's not really a really hateful black people. Same like Marcus dad. It's not. I guess you can agree with everyone.
But yeah, you get a lot of Afrikaans people like our dad's generation are very hateful. They're very angry towards what happened in 1994. They don't agree with it at all.
The global generation that paints their kids blue.
That's why I think the Western Cape is the best province to live in, because everyone here is very open-minded.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot of cultures that's there.
But the worst paid also.
Yeah, but everyone is so, like, everyone gets along. Everyone is so relaxed and,
But
you know.
I think we're open-minded, but we don't really interact. We're very cliquey, and also we're open-minded, but we don't go and talk to anyone. We kind of enjoy to stay in our own little comfort zone.
Yeah.
We don't hate you, but we don't want to go talk to you. That's the
I mean,
thing
we're
about
in
it.
the northern suburbs. We don't mix with the people from the southern suburbs, no offense. And we don't mix with the people from
too far to
Galicia or Mitchell's Plain. This is our hood, you know.
Okay, my dream is to have like a cricket pitch and a cricket field where everybody actually just play cricket. Everybody together, like black, white, everyone, and they just play cricket. And then when they're tired of playing cricket, they go sit next to the field and have a beer with everyone else who's watching the cricket game. And we're all just having fun.
My dream is to be able to be whoever, or to be able to see who someone for who they really are, not for not just seeing like the image, like that didn't make any sense. Well, that's my dream anyway.
My dream is to lie on my deathbed one day and say that I lived a good life and I gave my family a good life.
Well, my dream is that everybody on earth can have total freedom. Freedom of speech, personal freedom, you know, to have this idea that you can literally be anything you want to be, and to make a positive contribution wherever in whatever I'm involved with.
My dream is to have this happiness live forever, and to have everyone I know be happy forever.